Hello, Mike Gunn here from Unorthodox Audio. This is a quick video on using the multi-out instruments that are available in our Superfly drums sample library. Now, if you prefer doing this technical sort of stuff via reading manuals rather than instructional videos like this, if you look at the user handbook on pages 8 and 9, it'll go through everything that we're about to go through here. And you can find that in the sample library folder. There's a subfolder called User Handbook, or on our website. So we're going to look at two different ways of doing this. The first way is using our output section preset, and the second way to do it is setting the output section yourself. And then when you do that, you can save that yourself as your own preset. So it depends how much you want to know the ins and outs of what's going on. And just one other thing to note before we crack on with it is that it's important when using these multi-out instruments to set the output section of Kontakt first and then load the instrument. If you load the instrument first, there's no way of sort of telling it then to send stuff to the right places. So it's important to do the output section first, and then when you load up the instrument, it will automatically be mapped to relevant outputs. So in this video, we're going to look at using the main multi-instrument, which is in the subfolder in the instruments folder entitled multi-output version. You can see that there. And so we're going to be working with this Superfly drums multi. I've got it all set up here for now, but we're going to work backwards and I'll show you how to do all that. If you want to use the general MIDI alternative, say you're using a electronic drum kit and you want to use that with it, then in there you'll find it's the same output section preset, but you'll also find there's the multi version there. But for this video, we're just going to work with the main multi version of the instrument. So when you're using these multi versions of the instrument, the kick is being sent to outputs 1 and 2, the snare outputs 3 and 4, the toms outputs 5 and 6, the hi-hats outputs 7 and 8, and the cymbals are going to outputs 9 and 10. So let's look at using the output section preset. So you'll find that in the multi-output version folder, and to use the preset, you must first copy and paste that preset file into the relevant folder where Kontakt keeps any user save presets. Now on Mac, that's here, and on Windows, it's here. So once you've done that, if you go into your DAW, now for me that's Logic, so I'll be showing you this in Logic, but virtually all DAWs are the same with this sort of stuff, so I'm sure it's very similar. So if we open our DAW, and let's go and open Kontakt. Now it's important to open Kontakt as a multi-output version of Kontakt. So the one I'd suggest using is 16 times stereo, if you've got that, but anything, the 8 times stereo version would work. Anything that has a certain number of stereo versions to start with, more than one, that's the one to that will work fine. So then within Kontakt, you need to go to the workspace management icon in the top row, which is third from the left. That's this one here, and we need to select it so that we can see the output section. So that then shows us this output section down at the bottom. And if we click on the box entitled Presets/Batch Configuration, you should see our output section preset at the bottom of that list. So if you select that, that will then change the output section to the preset that's associated with Superfly drums. So once you've done that, all you need to do is open the Superfly drums multi-instrument, which you've done so there, and then if we play that, you'll see that each of the relevant elements is going to the sort of mapped output. So I'll just run through kick and snare, toms, hi-hats, and cymbals. So you see they're then going to the relevant outputs. Now this will be different depending on what DAW you're in. But for Logic, I'll just show you quickly how you then can view those in the mixer. If you open up your mixer window, and if you press that plus icon at the bottom for the 5 so that we've got 5 faders. Those 5 faders will correspond to the first one being the kick, then snare, toms, hi-hats and cymbals. Great, so that's using the output section preset. We'll next take a look at setting the output section yourself. So first of all, open Kontakt. Again, if you're opening it in your DAW, then open it as the multi-output instrument, and then go to the workspace management icon to show the output section again, like we did just a moment ago. Now, this is where we need to actually set the outputs. So if we click on the plus icon, then a dialog box will appear. And in there, we need to basically delete what's already in there and then make our own setup to suit the way we've built Superfly drums. So firstly, drag the quantity up to the number 5, as we've got 5 output groups for the drums. We've got kick, snare, toms, hi-hat, cymbals. So there's the 5 output groups. Secondly, go to the sound card / host output and select analog 1 or stereo 1, depending on whether you're in standalone mode or as a plugin in your DAW. And then tick the box underneath to ensure that it will then allocate the next available outputs to the next available groups. And then we need to tick the box saying delete existing channels before creating new ones, and then press OK. And then you'll suddenly see that the output section has changed, and we've now got 5 stereo outputs in the output section at the bottom of the screen. So to avoid confusion, what I'd recommend doing now is labeling those with the relevant elements. We'll just do that quickly. Great, and then once we've done that, we can open up our Superfly Drums Multi, and it should all route to the correct outputs. So let's do that now. You'll see that all those then go to the corresponding outputs. I won't go through setting that all up in Logic again with the mixer, because you saw that on the output section preset. So that's pretty much it. If you want to save the preset we've just done, then you just go to here, save output section preset as, and then type in your name. Obviously, we've saved ours previously as Superfly Drums, so you can see that there. So I'd just save it as Superfly Drums so that you have got that easily accessible for next time. Great, so that's how to set up the multi-out versions of the instrument. It's exactly the same for using the general MIDI alternative. If you just look at this, if you just go to the folder here in instrument, so if we're in instruments, we click on the general MIDI alternatives rather than the multi-output version, you'll see in there that there's the multi-instrument for the general MIDI mapped alternative, and that uses the exact same outputs as the main multi-instrument, so the same output section preset will work for that as well. Thanks for joining me on this, and hope you enjoy using Superfly drums.